Greetings. Greetings. My name is Ajani, and this is the Reparations Show.
Don't want no spare change or handout. I see that everywhere I go. Want you to reach right in your conscience, baby, and give me everything I'm owed. I'm talking about them reparations, reparations. Oh, honey, give me all my money, money. Reparations, reparations. Give me everything you owe. Reparations, reparations. For all them years of frustrations. This is the freaking Reparations Show.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Seems to be a little technical difficulty. But tonight on the Reparations Show, we are discussing cultural reparations. We built this city, we built this nation on our backs. And what's owed to us is that you give us not just our penance, what you owe us. What you owe us back is also our culture that's been taken from us over and over and over again in so many subversive ways. Sometimes just popping up with things that don't belong to anybody outside of us. So to discuss this subject with me is my longtime friend and kin, Levon Proverbs Briggs. Can we bring her in, please?
Hi.
Hello, lovely.
How are you, darling one?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm
Good.
well.
Good.
Now we've known each other a long time.
Since 2012?
2012.
Yes.
Right? And it feels like it's been since 1912.
Come on. I knew you in a former life.
I knew you in a former life. And since we've walked this long down through the years, and we talk about reparations, right? And we talk about this reparations in money, right? And in 2019, the House and the Senate decided to enter into discussion about reparations financially and what that would do to the United States. But nothing has come from the conversation that's been brought to the people, right? But I feel like there's another aspect of reparations that needs to be discussed, and that is cultural reparations, right? Can y'all give me my stuff back? Now, granted, around the world, there are now individual people who are giving back artifacts that were looted from Africa. They're giving it back to the country, to the continent, or to the tribe, or to the community it belongs to, right? And a lot of people have brought up that museums in Europe and the United States and in Canada still have items that were looted.
Correct.
They were not given to you for display.
Correct.
You have a ritual item.
You do.
In your museum, talking about a bowl made in Kenya. I'm so sorry.
You have ancestral remnants because somebody's hand touched that staff, touched that bowl. Somebody was calling on their great-great-grandmama with that fill in the blank.
That shaker ray.
That vessel.
That djembe.
That calabash bowl.
That staff that they hewed out. Okay.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out, why can't you give that back?
What you trying to figure out, brother?
I really do feel like it's no. I feel like
colonizers gonna colonize.
But here's the issue: you're not colonizing just because you're robotic. You think about this. There is a consciousness that you actually keep perpetuating when you went into villages and took, when you go into villages and take. You are literally thinking about something.
Brother, I would venture to say that there is a lack of consciousness. I'm listening to The Black Mother of Hollywood by Jennifer Lewis right now, her audiobook. And she talks about this instance where she's in New York. You know, she's living in her gorgeous high-rise apartment because she's Jennifer Lewis. Right. And she decides to do her laundry one day. And she goes to put her laundry on the elevator. And there's this old white couple on the elevator. And she's like, I have 3 other bags that I need to get. Can you just please hold the door for me? And the old white lady kicks her stuff all over the place. Like, no, we're in a rush. We got to go. And so, you know, she runs over Jennifer Lewis. She keeps the elevator doors open. She picks up her things one by one and makes them wait. Right. And then as she gets onto the elevator with this old white couple, she says, what is wrong with you people? And, you know, that reminds me of the great ancestor, Toni Morrison, who always talks about the incapable ways that white people express, like they do not have the capacity, some white people, to be human. You are not human if you do not see my humanity. You yourself are not human. So there are some people who literally lack the capacity to have a conscience. And so there has to come a point in time where we say, you know what, this is, you cannot do this. Therefore, I cannot expect you to do this. Therefore, I need to move on to the next part of this plan.
Yes. I hear that. I hear that. So, in you not being a human, then what are you?
Brutes, savages. I think the same language that has been used against Black and brown people, right, is actually a derivative of their deficiency. So I, Levon,
they project.
Yeah, I will never ever say white supremacy unless I'm quoting someone, because there's nothing supreme about whiteness. Yes. Race is a social construct. Whiteness is not real. Therefore, for me to bow to this system is my acquiescence. And so I will call it white perversion, white brutality. I will call it the delusion of the white inferiority complex, because something's going on over there where you stunting us so hard.
And why? Now, a friend of mine asked me why. And I told him, I said, I feel like they understand that living is, Black people know how to live. People of color know how to live. They know how to create. They know how to live. They know how to own. They know how to be, right? And they don't. So therefore, they view, they journal, they adopt, they take, they kill that which was so that they can be what is.
Right. So here's the thing. I would add on to what you're saying and say that as African people, we know how to thrive. Yeah. We know how to operate within spiritual systems, communal systems. You honor the land. You are a steward, not an owner, right? We know how to, we are spiritual people. I understand that there are some Black people who identify as atheists. However, that is not my belief system. And so I think once colonization started, there was a disruption to our thriving. And then we shifted to survival mode, which is what the human body is designed to do. And so ever since then, as Africans on American soil, we have been trying to get back to thriving. But because the way this land started, this country was never great. It will never be great because of its genesis. So for me, what the hope is for us to return to our heritage as African descendant people, our spirituality, our ancestral wisdom, our indigenous practices. And that's where we can get back to thriving.
With all that we now know, right? The African has been in America 400 plus years now.
Yeah.
Right? And with 401 years, going on 402 years, right? There has been so much that has occurred, right?
Right.
And there has been atrocity after atrocity, but there also have been blessings after blessings. When there will come a day, I do believe, where all Black people will hit it and be like, oh, now it's time to thrive. What do you think that thriving will look like for the African in America when we all get that consciousness?
I think it looks like assurance. I think it looks like knowing who the fuck you are.
Hey, okay.
Honoring your lineage,
Yeah.
right? Honoring your tradition, being in tune with the spirit of your people, which is about community, liberation, right? And evolution. That's what being African is about. We are about our people. We're about our planet. We're about our deities.
Yes.
About some good food, some good music, some singing.
Hey.
These
Hey,
bodies.
hey.
I think it looks like being free
Mm-hmm.
in who we are. And I will say, I know that this conversation is about cultural appropriation.
We can go there. Let's go there.
We can go there because we
Let's
got
go
to
there.
talk about the shit that keeps us bound intracommunally. So homophobia, queerphobia, misogyny and misogynoir, healing those parts of ourselves that have been harmed by internalized oppression.
So let's shift, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a second part to cultural reparations, right? And that is character reparations. I feel like we've exchanged having high character, communal standards, things that come with us ancestrally for survival mechanisms of our oppressor, right? Being arrogant, being full of ourselves, taking what doesn't belong to us in order to survive, right? And I'm telling you this, from what I've researched and what I've gathered, homophobia, xenophobia, that's not us.
That's not our shit.
That's not us. That's not us at all. First of all, I'm gonna put this out there. Fear is not ours. Fear is not ours.
I was gonna say that.
Because every time somebody comes like, oh, you got a phobia, isms ain't ours. These broken mentalities are not ours, because there was a place where in community, in village, in kingdom, or wherever, in random, in queendom, in fellowship, in neighborhood, we live next to each other. No matter if I was Hausa and you were Ewe, we live next to each other.
And right? How about, go ahead, I cut you off. Go.
And even before there was war, there was a meeting of the minds.
Hello.
But what I have seen in America in my few years, amen, I'm getting up there. I'm about to shift in a minute. Yeah, I'm about to shift, right? Yeah. Some things still keep happening ancestrally, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how we have communities, right? We live in neighborhoods and such like that, right? We had these old ways of elders taking care of all the children, right? Somehow those traditions, they went away, but now they're coming back, right? Now you have this thing of gangs, right? I think these people are saying this is another way of surviving, but that's ancestrally, you just trying to get your tribe or your people together.
That's the word.
You trying to get back to that thing is in your vein, and you cannot help but to say, let me charter a group of people that I can lead and cultivate. That's all you're saying.
And feel at home with, right? I like to say that when I am around people like you, my brother, my close friends, when I'm around you, my soul can slouch. I don't have to put on, I don't have to perform, I don't have to do, I don't have to sacrifice. I can just be. And Black people, especially Black women, but Black people do not have enough space in this country to just fucking be. Everybody's like, Black hair is political. Being Black is resistance. Black joy is revolutionary. Why? Why is my happiness? Why is my homeostasis? Why is stability and security as my home frequency fucking revolutionary? I'm tired of being resilient. I want to be soft. I want to be vulnerable. I want to chill. I want to not have to show up in resistance every single day.
This is why I'm saying character, we've got to get this back. Why? It makes me feel so blessed, right? That I can literally cry and purge with my folks.
Yes.
With my own people, I can just cry. And I've been in places, and this is how I know that character and this is ancestral. I'll cry when I'm on the mic in front of a whole bunch of white people about what I'm saying, because this is my healing. As you said, me being at center and being at home within myself should not be revolutionary. It should not. But the example of doing so is because somebody else needs to see that you can be this way too.
Beloved, there you have it. You said when you cry, you heal. I posted about this when Chadwick Boseman, Ashe, transitioned. 20 minutes after I found out, I got on Instagram Live and I grieved with my people. And I said, y'all, there is so much collective trauma, individual trauma, intergenerational trauma that we are not processing. And energy does not disappear. It does not dissipate. It transfers. And shout out to Dr. Joy DeGruy, author of Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, right? Who talks about how trauma is literally embedded in our DNA because of everything that our ancestors endured. And so when you think about how you don't just have your childhood stuff, your tween stuff, your teenage stuff, your young adult stuff, your last week stuff, and then you have to worry about something coming up. And you like, I mean, I love water. I'm not afraid of water. There's some ancestors in your lineage who did not have a very nice experience with water. So it don't matter if your mama put you in swim classes when you were 6 months old, if you don't heal that intergenerational trauma.
And that's the issue. Now you just said two things. The trauma is embedded, right? But I'm going to tell you this too. The healing is embedded too.
Come on. Bring it back. Bring it back.
That healing is embedded. But here's the issue. People tell me something, oh, I'm having trouble with focus, or I'm having trouble with my depression. The reason why you're having trouble with it is because something's on the inside is trying to help you. You're not recognizing that. Oh my God. I'm me and my husband, we're having relationship issues. Because something's on the inside is saying, if you just recognize me, this is a tool. If you just hear what I'm saying to you, but you're too busy externalizing your consciousness.
Baby, can we talk about Sabon Some, Ashe?
This great elder, this great ancestor, this matriarch of a type of pedagogy that wants us to see that our sensuality, our character is a communal effort. And it don't just take two to tango. I want to take tango out. It takes 100 of us to Dodamba, to Sente, to Lamba. It takes 100 of us to beat these drums. She taught, and what really touched me is that I felt seen reading her book when she spoke about the gatekeeper, and this whole notion of this label that was put on you in the West is not here at home.
Correct.
When you come here, I see you as Yvonne. I see you as Ajani. I see you as this whole spirit, right? I'm looking beyond your flesh unto the center of your being and saying, I want that gift, I want that talent, I want that character.
That, guess what? You said before you came to the earth that this is what you were going to do. You were in the ancestral. This is what African cosmology teaches us. And this is why it's so important for us to have cultural reparations, right? And heritageal reparations, making up words now.
You have that right. You have that right.
Come on. Because once you connect to your teachings, you decolonize your mind, you decolonize your spirituality, you decolonize your body.
Yes.
Right? And it decolonizes how you move through the world. And so when you remember that you have a purpose, when you remember, when you recall, when you remember, when you put back together your purpose, your vocation, when you get quiet and you're like, what brings me joy? So many of us were taught that, you just got to get by. You got to keep your head above water. And I'm like, as long as there are African descended people who are just treading water, ain't nobody their ancestors' wildest dreams. You think it was our ancestors' wildest dreams for us to be protesting the murder of George Floyd?
That's
what our ancestors were dreaming about.
They couldn't have.
What
they did dream was that I did not get by, but that we were successful. We were wealthy and healthy. What they did dream is that we did not tread water, that we walked on it, that we will remember how we accessed it. Yeah. They didn't want us. They didn't want us long marching to slave ships anymore. What they want us to do was long marches of ancestral remembrance through our neighborhoods. They want us to go into them 5 boroughs in New York. They want us to go out here in Atlanta in the metro area. They want us to be down in New Orleans, and they want to say each year, Before you do anything,
Yeah.
y'all gather up and march around these cities. Take your feet and vibrate the ground.
That's it.
And conjure up.
That's it.
These ancestral
Conjure, honey.
intentions. Yeah. That's what they dreamed about.
So I'm thinking about Sankofa, right? The ancient West African spiritual belief, the Adinkra symbol that talks about going back to get it, that you need to know where you've been in order to know where you're going. And thinking about Afrofuturism and how on this land, we have never known liberation as African descended people. And so we literally have to create a new world. We literally have to imagine. We literally have to spend time meditating, visualizing, praying about, talking about, speaking and declaring about a world where Black bodies are free. All Black bodies. All. Queer, trans, disabled, femme, women, men, children, all Black bodies are thriving.
Honey, listen. And there's somebody here who has freedom in their name. He's the curator of this show. Everybody, I want to welcome Mr. Kevin R. Free.
Yeah,
Kevin, you there?
Bringing that freedom.
Come on.
Transition.
That was the best segue I have ever. Nobody has ever done that. I'm gonna make sure on the show that everybody talks about freedom before they say my name.
Hey, say my name, say my name.
Ow, you acting kind of shady.
Hey, ain't calling
baby. Why you running, gang?
Say my name, say my name. I'm called. Baby, how you say? What's the Johnny, I can't hear you.
Ajani, I don't know what happened.
But I mean, listen, so Vintage Destiny's Child, honey, all these folks who were like, oh, Blue Ivy and Black is King. I'm like, I stand Black is King, but also and Calendria, Shatavia.
Come on. All of them.
We got to pull out the 1995 bottle. Like, this is the 1995 Destiny's Child.
Yes. That's right. So I am gonna kick you two out for a second.
Sure.
And then introduce Nyla.
Hello.
Oh, look, there's Nyla.
How you doing, kid?
Morgan, try to help Ajani with the weird thing that was happening a second ago. We're live, and I'm just talking about other things. Everybody who is watching the show tonight, I want to introduce you to our brand new production assistant, Nyla David.
Hi.
Earlier today, Nyla sent me a picture and said, do you think I'm okay to be on camera? And I was like, all you need is a lip, honey. All you need is a lip.
And then we got, you know, here we got a Ruby Roo nude moment, you know, not too much, but still cute.
Just enough, honey. Just enough.
Right.
Just enough. So everybody, I know Nyla because I directed Nyla in a play at UNLV in January and February of this year, just before Miss Roney came in and ruined everything.
Man.
But you were able to do the whole run of your show, right?
We were.
That's good.
Yes,
so I had such a lovely time working with everybody in that cast. And I also just loved Nyla because she is an entrepreneur. She understands that being an actor and a singer is not all there is. So I want you to tell everybody about what you do.
Okay.
What the other stuff, your entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay. So before I had a mic in my hand and before I was, you know, graced with the opportunity to be in a play. The play with Kevin was actually my very first play production, so I was really excited to do that with Kevin. It was great. I was blessed with the skill of culinary arts. I've been cooking since I was about 4 years old. Yeah, popping the heads off a shrimp. Everything your grandma knew how to do. I was behind her, like, yes, ma'am. I like to tell the story of when I learned how to make quiche. I had it for the first time in a Costco with my auntie, and I just had I remember what it tasted like. So I ended up making the crust with masa and learning how to make the sous vide. And I baked it myself. And my mom was on the phone. I was like, look, mommy. And she's like, okay, yeah. Hold on, girl. She was talking to one of her friends. Oh, yeah, I'm not cooking no more. You know how to make quiche? Yeah, I'm done. So she hasn't cooked since the 4th grade. I'm 23, mind you.
Oh, how old are you in the 4th grade?
I was like 7. 7.
Not in the 4th grade. Oh, come on.
I was young. I was like, huh?
Yes, honey. Yes.
But I studied abroad in high school. I got invited to study abroad to 9 different countries in Europe. And I was able to pay my own tuition to go on that trip by starting a cupcake company. So I make giant stuffed cupcakes. And that's been a journey for me. I also teach an entrepreneurship class, which I will be teaching tomorrow as well.
Oh, look at that. And where will you be teaching it?
It's called TILT, the International List Tour. It's a business conference. It's a seminar online. I can include the link in the comments below after, as production assistants do. They add.
If you tell me now, I can type it up and Morgan can put it up there right now while you're on the screen.
Oh,
say it again, stealth.
TILT.
TILT.
TILT. The International List Tour.
You got that, Morgan? TILT, the International List Tour. TILT, the International List Tour. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. So maybe we'll put the link up later on. When I kick you out, you can put the actual link in there, and then look, that's there. But we can put the actual link in there later. So is that what you've been teaching all through the pandemic? I know that you were teaching classes during the pandemic too.
I was doing smaller seminars, so I do individual ones. So I have a couple of my mentors. Most of them have young children, so I'll do individual seminars. But during this pandemic, I was really recreating my curriculum, because something that I noticed was I was talking about investing. I was talking about assets. I was talking about very basic entrepreneurial foundations, like how to make an investment, how to make a time lapse, how to make strategic planning and marketing. But we really didn't talk about how you build yourself as an entrepreneur. So the theme of my class this year is building the business of you. So for me, during high school, because I started my business around freshman year of high school, my entire identity became the cupcake girl. So I instead of going to parties on Saturday nights, I was doing an order for a wedding or two, corporate events and stuff like that. So I didn't really have all the time and the luxury to vicariously explore my passions and interests in an educational environment. It became the trip, and then it became finances. I helped pay for school. I pay for all my applications and all my tests and stuff like that. So
you're amazing. You really are. You're a genius. So here's Ajani wants some red velvet cupcakes.
Oh, period.
And listen, I was just going to ask you, where can we still get cupcakes?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
How come I didn't get a cupcake when I was in Vegas in January?
You told you I got you Starbucks, and someone told me you didn't like sweets, so I didn't bring them.
True. It's not that I don't like sweets, because I'm not supposed to have sweets. So
Oh, I didn't want to be rude. I was just like, oh dang.
You could have brought cupcakes for everyone.
and said that they
Listen,
were
that
in
is.
my honor.
I like everyone, Kevin. I only bring nice food to things that I like. Just kidding. I'm not gonna be petty, but
I was gonna
I
say,
I
I'm gonna make sure people watch this. So watch yourself. Listen. What is there a link to the website? What is your website?
It's called Nyla's Fat Thighs Cupcakes.
Nyla's Fat Thighs.
Thighs
Cupcakes.
with a Z.
Thighs with the THIGHZ.
Z.
Okay.
That's how you know they thick. Thighs said with the Z. Thighs.
You make me laugh so much. I appreciate you so much. So the way the production assistant track works, everybody, is we have the production assistant here, and then the production assistant will help for a while, and then they will host the show, and then we'll start with another production assistant. So Nyla will be with us, I think, at this point for the next 8 weeks, and then she will host at the 9th week mark. Holla. All right, I'm kicking you out, and I want Morgan, bring Ajani back in, and Levon too. Why not? Hey, pretty people. Isn't she amazing?
Yes.
You're muted, Ajani.
Hear me now.
Yes.
Thank God. Okay.
Hallelujah. Nyla is just, she's so wonderful, and she always makes me laugh, and our text thread is off the hook. She always makes me laugh. So
it's great to see y'all's relationship transition from professor students and now colleagues. Like,
which
is
dope. That is the name of my game. I like to tell young actors that I work with that when it's all over, well, I tell them while we're working together, stop trying to impress me. You already have the job. So there's no need. We're here working together. That's good. But when it's over, my hope is that I have taught you lots of things about how to make theater, and also that one day you will hire me.
Oh, I love that.
Come on, reciprocity.
And be mature and not let this go. You know what
I know that's right.
Listen, he's 51 this year, so
oh my,
it took him some time to grow up, but
you got it.
I did it.
I
want to take a moment to thank you both for being on the show.
Oh,
thank you for doing it. You have preached several words today already. I'm looking forward to how many more words you're going to preach. We've been blowing up the chat. At least I have. You say things, and I'm like, yes, yes. I'm crying now. I need my healing now. So I just want to thank you very much, and I'm going to get out of your way because y'all don't need me here at all.
We adore you, Kevin. Thank you for curating a space like this.
We adore you back. I adore you. We, the royal we, adore you. This queen adores you. Ow, sicky. Boy, you get me out of here.
Hilarious.
So we're back now.
And we're back. And we back.
Since you said something. You said something.
What did I say?
You were talking about Sankofa.
Yeah.
But Sankofa has 2 meanings, right?
Expand.
Go back and fetch it. Yes, we do need to access some ancestral things. We need to go back and remember some spiritual technologies. We need to look at the year 1968, 65, and 1960. We do need to do those things, yes. But it also says return to the source.
Yes.
Listen, now I'm just follow me here, okay? Just follow me here. It has been difficult for me to grasp this thing about returning to the source. Sometimes there are places where sources could be sources of pain, right? But I have figured it out. Every source is a place of wisdom. Every. I hate that when people be like, "Fuck your feelings," but get this wisdom. We don't need to go back to what the Black Panthers did. But there's some wisdom there. We don't need to go back to how Harriet was going back and forth and understand it. But there's some wisdom there.
Listen here. We have to look at the past to see what had happened was, so that what happens is not what happened. And for Black folks, African descendant folks who were like, no, we don't need to look at that. Black Panther Party started because Black women were feeding poor children in poor Black neighborhoods.
Can we talk about how Black women really be the purveyor
Can
for the
we
movement.
talk about
Can
how
we
the
talk about
world
that?
does not deserve Black women?
So, as you know, I've entered into partnership. Thank God, hallelujah.
Yes,
And so,
hallelujah.
one of
God
our
is
agreements is
done
that
for others. God, I ask that you come down my street.
go, Lord, go. Hallelujah. One of
Yes,
our
actually, we
agreements,
celebrate that. Yes, we celebrate
thank
it.
you. One of our agreements is that we have to understand that no matter what we say and or do, right?
Mhm.
Because of our maleness, we do perpetuate patriarchy. So
Certainly.
so we have to be careful of that too.
Yeah.
And we were having this discussion about, can we just make sure we're honoring women in the room and make sure that other women are honoring women in the room? But first, when we go honor women, can we really shout out Black women,
Yeah.
right? And this ability to turn the tide,
Right.
to turn the corner, to make sure it happens, to provide, to go and get, right? And we're saying that we could not be here to be in relationship if it wasn't for some Black women nurturing, some Black women holding our hands and walking us through identity, some Black women loving us, some Black women getting our behind. Black women, this is not void of Black men. Just right
Correct.
now in this space, we
Correct.
have got to make sure that with every step we take, we honor the Black women who help us take those steps.
Absolutely.
And we got to.
And Morgan said the nonverbal hello. Yes. First of all, shout out to y'all for having agreements, because far too many of us are just dating willy-nilly and not sitting down and communicating, not doing that shadow work, that therapeutic work, that cathartic work to heal before you even get into relationships. Wonder why you keep attracting the same person over and over and over.
Oh.
Now we talk about Black women. What's the definition? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Like, you're the common denominator. And I know people don't like to hear this, you attract what you are. You're like, well, I keep attracting. Well, sweetheart, are you a fixer? Are you socially conditioned to try to take care of people because you saw your mom taking care of your father? Like, let's go to the root. Let's go back and get it. Let's go to the source. Right?
Sometimes you have to call your mama.
Sometimes you got to source yourself.
Sometimes you got to sit down and be like, let me go back and trace my steps. How did I get here?
How did I get here? And that's something that we are owed, right, as people who are African descended. Yeah. And when I think about, we were talking about Black women, when I think about how Black women show up time and time again for Black women, for Black men, trans, queer, whomever, when Black women show up and blow the whistle on an ICE detention center in Georgia that is forcibly sterilizing detained migrant women. When I think about how Dawn Wooten put her life on the line, went on MSNBC with her face and her name. She didn't blur anything out. She didn't distort her voice. She said, there is a uterus collector on the loose in Georgia, y'all. And this is the same country that will turn around and will murder Black women. Police brutality, Sandra Bland, Ashe. Will turn around and murder trans women, Nina Pop, Ashe, right? Like, the same way that we were talking about certain white people in the beginning who don't have the capacity to be human and to have a consciousness. I think most Black women do not have the capacity to not give a fuck, do not have the capacity to not nurture. And I'm gonna let my inner Hertep come out and say the Black woman is God. That is what God does. No matter how many times you turn away, no matter how many times you abuse, no matter how many times you mistreat, there's always more grace, always more compassion. We're still saying, instead of rising up with machetes and just beheading people, we're saying, listen to Black women, elect Black women, fund Black women, ordain Black women, trust us. We're literally just saying, trust us.
You literally have one of the most famous white women in Hollywood, Jane Fonda, right? Telling her cohort, another white woman, hey, stay out of Black folks' business. She literally said that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm just like, if you're not gonna listen to her, you're not gonna listen to anybody. And what y'all go keep on doing is what y'all gonna do is y'all gonna run up on us one day and it's gonna be the wrong run up. How y'all keep running up on us? Y'all keep running up on us in politics. It's gonna be the wrong run up. You
Let
gonna
me
run up
tell
on us
you.
in the. You gonna run up on us in business. It's gonna be the wrong run up.
Contrary to what Kanye West and his minions want to perpetuate, our enslaved ancestors did not just sit back and
They
take
didn't.
meetings.
They didn't.
We
They
just
didn't.
did not hear about the revolts and the rebellion, because that would then lift up the revolt and the rebellion in you. I said after George Floyd was murdered, we have shifted. We are no longer resisting. We are circling this mountain of oppression. We are lacing it with a stick of dynamite. We're lighting each wick with our ancestors' names. We are revolting. And if I can be so bold as to say that depending on what happens with this 2020 election, tis the season to prepare for rebellion. Okay, because revolution is not changing the system. It's about to be time for a full ass rebellion. And so, of course, colonizers and their descendants are going to minimize those stories and those narratives.
There's a woman, and I love her. She is some of my kin, Dr. Lanice Littleton, who her work is around. I sat in her class as she taught students the point of each and every narrated slave revolution there was, slave revolt. She said they did not revolt just because they were enslaved. They understand their enslavement was due to somebody else's reasoning, but they had to get free for our own purposes.
That's it.
And I quote her, Dr. Lanice Littleton. Yes.
I say, and we honor that, because we cannot divorce colonization from religion. And as African descended folk, as Black folk, you done been to somebody's Black church. Even if you are not religious now, even if you are not Christian now, you went to somebody's Mother's Day service, Christmas service. You did somebody's Easter play.
Yes, you did.
First with your grandmama.
You did, absolutely.
So you gotta realize that the religion that was inherited by most Black Christian spaces was a colonized religion. That slave owners would literally, I'm not speaking figuratively, literally tear out the book of Exodus in the Bible before they gave it to the enslaved.
They did. Yes.
So that you would not have any knowledge of a liberation in the sacred text. So that you would not think that God and liberation go together. That you would just feast on slaves obey your masters and you'll get your reward in heaven. Fuck that. I want my now.
But here's the issue. I keep trying to figure out why white people won't get the message. You literally, okay, you took the Exodus out the Bible, but then they still went the running.
Because it's in our DNA. I got royalty inside my DNA.
Freedom is in our DNA.
Freedom is in our DNA.
Wherever Black people go, we liberate. You have no choice but to be liberal around a Black person. You have no choice but to get free. Sometimes in communities, we get tension between each other. It's because a Black person has shown up and said, be free. Our color says be free. Our dance, our music, our art, our teaching, our loving, our living says to be free. This is why we have tension, because somebody's trying to get free.
And see, I cut you off. Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead, Queen.
No, we see what it takes to be free in this society. Those of us who are free Black women, free gay Black men, free Black girls. I'm talking about Blue Ivy. Do you remember how, I guess like 5 or 6 years ago, when Jay-Z and Beyonce were not combing Blue Ivy's hair, they were just letting it grow how it grows. People were like, why can't she? I just wrote an essay about this on my Patreon. Beyonce and Jay-Z are billionaires. They have access to the finest, most exquisite service providers in the entire universe. They could pay for a private jet live on set to charter a hairstylist to their home or homes, wherever the hell they are on the globe, right? To their child's hair. The fact of the matter is they are raising a daughter who is free of social constructions, who is a free Black girl. I cannot tell you, I mean, I can wait, because that means that Blue Ivy is grown, then I'm grown, and I can wait. But when I'm grown, and when Blue Ivy is grown, I cannot wait to see the free Black woman that she is and what she's able to do and conjure as a result of the parenting, the freedom-laced parenting, not the children are to be seen and not heard, not the I'm having children just so I have someone to take care of me when I get older. Because if that's why you have kids, chances are they're not going to want to take care of you when you get older. But if you lean into your African centeredness and built community, you wouldn't have to worry about anyone taking care of you when you aged.
Because see, the issue is from the time you're born, you're taken care of. If you go be in community.
If you're in community.
But if you decide, you know what, it's gonna be me against the world, and I'm gonna get mine, and I'm gonna take mine. Let me tell you something. You go always lose against the world.
That is not our shit. That is Eurocentric, westernized, colonized, individualistic, me, myself, and I. As for me and my house. I say that jokingly because it's scripture, but like really when I say me and my house, I mean like my people.
My people. You know and I'm in your house. You in my house. You've been in my house. You slept in my house. You done ate in my. I done ate in yours too.
And that's going back to Uncle Somé, who said, when you get married, Ajani, I am getting dressed and I am showing up to my wedding. You don't have no interest in dating me and dating a woman. But when you get married, that's my wedding because you are my family and I claim you. So all this, stay out of grown folks' business, keep this between you and your man. No, you're telling the wrong people. You need to tell somebody who is discerning, who is spiritually grounded, who is emotionally intelligent. That's cultural reparations there.
Yes.
Having people who support you.
Yes. Listen, can we get that back? There's a name, Akabueze, right? It's a notion. It says support is paramount. Support is what? Paramount.
Oh, yes. I agree.
That is a type of reparations. Reparations, the word reparations.
Come on, break it down.
Listen here. Comes out of a varied way of saying reciprocity.
Woo!
Let me run around this table.
Because when you are in right relationship with someone and you are close to someone, it is inevitable that you will hurt that person. It is inevitable to love someone and hurt them. Not because you want to, but because when you're so close and you're a human being and you make mistakes and you deal with being Black and woman or Black and queer in a racist, sexist, xenophobic society, you're gonna slip up one day. And when I reach the contract that says that we trust each other, that we love each other, because I love you, I say I was wrong. I fucked up. How do I make this right? That's what reparations, to repair, to make
repair. And all we're saying is, because I have built your institutions that you don't want me to be in, but yet and still I've made my way in because I built them brick by brick. And yes, oh no, son, you didn't build them. Yes, I did. Because see, this black hand here, this has my mother, my father, my grandmother, and my grandfather, and all my ancestors in this skin. We built this building.
Let me tell you
Give me
what
my coin.
Every time I mention that European colonizers colonized my ancestors, there's like 6 or 7 white people who show up in my comment section talking about this is racist. And I was like, you know what? Every time a white person calls me racist for just stating that their ancestors enslaved my ancestors, I want $1 million. $1 whole $1 million, which is not a lot of money in 2020, but I could do a lot with $1 million in 2020. Let's be clear.
Flip and stretch. But
if every time I post about chattel slavery, I got 6 or 7 white people, you know what I'm saying? I might have to post once a week, honey, and just get a cool 6-7 million and start buying some land and start paying off some student loans.
Here's the issue. The land y'all keep passing down generation by generation, nobody tilled that soil but black people. Come on! I'm just trying, you got, and you still call it, first of all, you will never ever get me to move into a subdivision, an apartment, a neighborhood that says plantation on it, anywhere, not even a street.
In your life.
Not even a street. So the fact that you just keep passing this down to my son because he's a junior and we're going to give him this estate. No. Sir, this is not an estate. This is a graveyard and a testament to somebody else's work ethic that you keep passing down. You are passing down an ancestral relic that belongs to me and belongs to that family and belongs to that family. You need to move off this land. Yeah,
you need to move off this land. And this is the librarian. I can't call her name. You could tell I'm becoming an auntie talking like that. Mm-hmm. But she's a librarian at Columbia Theological Seminary in Decatur, Georgia. And she said, people want to talk about, you know, we need to just let go and forget about slavery. Like, no, if you want to forget, then you need to give up the wealth that you have inherited that was generated from chattel slavery, that was generated from centuries of free, brutalized, forced labor. So you start giving up them coins, and then we can think about moving on from talking about slavery. Because I excuse me, do not hear anybody telling Jewish folks, can you please stop talking about the Holocaust? Can you please stop talking about gas chambers? Can you please stop talking about Auschwitz? But as soon as we say slave ships named Jesus, Santa Maria, well, we weren't alive then. I'll be damned if I pay for something for someone I didn't even know. You may not have known my great-great-great-grandmother, but your great-great-great-grandfather raped her.
And y'all talking about something, we can't, you know, we need to share our culture. You've been taking our culture even before we even claimed it was ours. You've been taking and taking and taking, and I'm tired of you taking. So once you give me back my coin that you owe me, and you give me back the land that wasn't yours so that I can give it back to my Native American cousins, okay?
Baby, I just posted about this on Instagram. I was like, sweetie, the ancestral wisdom and the indigenous practices that you are discovering, we know they work because our ancestors were doing that before your ancestors colonized us. So now that you have taken the Orisha dance class, Sarah, now that you have gone to Peru to see the shaman, Becky, how are you eradicating anti-Blackness? How are you eradicating racism? How are you protesting against capitalism and doing the work to get reparations? You cannot just dip in and out of these sacred spaces and take what you want, just like your ancestors took what they wanted.
How about that?
When indigenous people and African people literally had no language for owning land. It's like, what do you mean the land is yours? No, this is Mother Earth.
It belongs to her.
We are in symbiotic relationship with her.
She allows us to live here.
She allows us. She blesses us with a harvest. She blesses us with rain. She blesses us with animals. Sorry to the vegans.
And she blesses us with plants.
Ashe, thank you.
First of all, these plants be growing. Let me tell you something.
Growing.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. That's okay. These plants be growing. That's all right.
Plants be growing, and we be growing because we are plants with flesh and bones and blood. Instead of chlorophyll, we got plasma, whatever the hell. I'm not a bio.
And every single notion of that which is in the stars and in the universe, is in this body.
Is in this body. Literally, there is scientific evidence to prove that the same material that makes up stars makes up us.
In the earth, is in my skin, is in my bone.
Literally, scientifically proven that what's in dirt is in us.
And you keep trying to get
this beautiful brown color,
honey. This good Georgia red clay.
Okay, this good Bayesian chocolate. This good melanin.
Hey.
And niggas out here selling skin lightening cream.
Amanda Seals, great, who is a Jolly in her own right. She wrote a song, said, y'all got me fucked up.
How does it go? I remember that.
Niggas got me fucked up. Oh, you got me fucked up. Not today, not the one. But what she's saying is, y'all have really, and I think she was saying this when she was on The View. She was saying this, she's been saying, you got this messed up here. That educational institution that you keep going in, learning class and getting that degree of false education ain't helping you.
False. It's not helping you. Listen to Black people. Listen to queer people. Listen to the most marginalized among us. People are up in arms like, oh my God, it's a pandemic. Oh my God, the police are Black women. Black queer folks have been surviving pandemics in this country every single fucking day.
The day a Black boy, first of all, the day a Black boy is born, they tally him. The day a Black boy reaches his ID, I remember being in 3rd grade and they came into the classroom and said, half of you will not make it to the age of 16 because you will either be in jail or dead.
Ajani.
If you make it to 21, right, it will only be 6 of you out of this classroom.
Ajani.
Tears.
The prison industrial complex is so privatized that down to the fucking phone makers, there are conferences about how to privatize prisons. When Black boys are in 3rd grade, people who build prisons look at the math test scores of Black boys in the 3rd grade to determine how many prison beds they need to have. They use those scores to say, oh, this child is not performing at grade level. This child is performing at 1st grade level, kindergarten level, not even on the fucking scale. To say, we'll have a bed ready for him in 10 years.
Ridiculous.
That is demonic. You want to talk about what's evil? That's evil. Stealing uteruses is
malicious.
evil.
That's malicious from the time you think of that concept. That is maliciousness.
Giving indigenous folks blankets that you done coughed on because you got smallpox to kill them is satanic.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Just malicious. Right. So reparations, y'all. As me and my sister, we gonna close. And we gonna get them a libate. We gonna libate.
Yes.
We gonna lie.
I'm finishing. Can I get a refill?
Oh God.
But we also need more libations. I know we closing, but libations is an ancient West African ritual in which we pour water onto the ground, a plant, into a bowl or something, and literally call on the names of the divine, as you know the divine to be, the names of your ancestors, those known and unknown, biological, non-biological ancestors you revere and look up to. And it's so important for us to continually move in that, right? Yes. To be spiritually grounded and centered in this moment. I don't know how people are surviving this moment without spiritual practices. I don't understand. I don't want to understand. But let's get curious about what fed our ancestors, and what fed our ancestors will keep us full today.
Yes. And sometimes even a libate is sometimes without the materials, it is still your words. It is your intention. It is your offering unto. And so what I'm going to ask, first of all, to Levon Proverbs Briggs, I've got before her and who she is and what she does and what she brings into this earth and that energy that flows through her. Yes, I am proud to know her and stand with her, not just here, but everywhere. Literally, I love and adore you. And thank you so much for this time.
I love you. Thank you for asking me. You were like, hey, I need you to do this thing with me on Friday, September 18th. I was like, okay.
That's how we do. We call each other up. Listen.
Honey!
Listen, call up. Call your people.
Listen, I need you. Okay.
Yes,
hey,
okay.
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 Are you available? Yes.
Because there are some people I'm going to tell no.
Be like, hey, are you free tomorrow? What do you need? Oh, I'm not available.
I'm not.
Whole day free. Don't matter. I'm going to be rested. Resting in something. I am not free for that.
I also want to thank the curator of this, Kevin R. Free. You set me free. You set me free in your being. Thank you so much. I thank you so much for who you are and what you do. I thank God for meeting Miss Morgan and communing with her. I thank God for Joey and his work. I thank God for Nyla. Well, you are amazing. You are amazing. And there's another name that I am missing, and forgive me. Emeris.
Joey
Emeris. Thank you so much. Aries, forgive me. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you. Thank you all for having us, right? So in the name of our ancestors, those who came before us, those who walk with us, those who will see us through, we say Ashe to you. Thank you for those who will come after us, right? Because what we're doing now is we're trying to heal 7 generations back and heal 7 generations forward, so that when you come here, you get these cultural reparations, you get these spiritual reparations, you get these ancestral retentions, and you get yours, yes? Right? Because truly, that's the Black Parade. That is the Black Parade right there. And I am so blessed to be a part of this. Thank you all so much for joining us here at the Reparations Show. Thank you.